Hello guys, welcome back to Hang Bros. In this video, we will be teaching you the first lesson on biology, life processes. So what to wait for? Let's quickly dive in. Now, let's see the answers for the questions asked in the previous video. First question: why is digestion an exothermic reaction? During digestion, food is broken down into simple substances. Carbohydrates are broken down to form glucose. This glucose combines with oxygen in the cells of our body and provides energy. Second question: what are the brown fumes which arise on heating lead nitrate? Nitrogen dioxide are the brown fumes which arise on heating lead nitrate. Third question: what do oxidizing agent and reducing agent undergo? Oxidizing agent undergoes reduction and reducing agent undergoes oxidization.
Now let's start the biology lesson. How to identify whether an organism is living or not? We tend to think of some sort of movement, either growth related or not, as a common evidence for being alive. That alone is not enough. Movements over very small scale, that is, the invisible molecular movements, are also important criteria to decide whether an organism is living or not. Every living organism carries out a certain process to sustain or maintain life. This is called life processes.
There are many life processes in our body. The process to transfer a source of energy from outside the body of an organism to inside is called nutrition. So today, let's see about the nutrition in plants and animals. There are two types of nutrition: autotrophic nutrition and heterotrophic nutrition. Autotrophic nutrition is the nutrition which is found in plants. The carbon and energy requirements of an autotrophic organism are fulfilled by photosynthesis. So, the universally known photosynthesis is the process by which green plants make their own food from carbon dioxide and water by using sunlight energy in the presence of chlorophyll.
First of all, the food is prepared by the green leaves of a plant in the form of carbohydrates. The carbohydrates, which are not used immediately, are stored in the form of starch. This starch is stored in the leaves of a plant as internal storage reserve, which are used as and when required by the plant. Process involved in photosynthesis: absorption of light energy by chlorophyll, conversion of light energy to chemical energy, and splitting of water molecule into hydrogen and oxygen, reduction of carbon dioxide to carbohydrates. These steps need not take place one after another immediately. Desert plants take up carbon dioxide at night and prepare an intermediate which is acted upon by the energy absorbed by the chlorophyll during the day. The main conditions necessary for the process of photosynthesis are sunlight, chlorophyll, carbon dioxide, and water.
How do plants absorb sunlight? Plants have green colored cell organelles called chlorophyll. They absorb sunlight. Next, how do plants absorb carbon dioxide? There are a large number of tiny pores called stomata on the surface of the leaf. The carbon dioxide gas enters the leaves of the plant through stomata. Each stomatal pore is surrounded by a pair of guard cells. The opening and closing of the pore is the function of the guard cells. When water flows into the guard cells, they swell and become turgid and hence cause the pore to open. When guard cells lose water, they shrink and become flaccid and closes the stomatal pores.
How do these plants obtain water? The water required by the plants for photosynthesis is absorbed by the roots of the plants from the soil through the process of osmosis. The plants also need other raw materials such as nitrogen, magnesium, phosphorus, iron, and so on. These are taken up by the plants through the soil. Okay, now let's see about heterotrophic nutrition. The mode of nutrition in which organisms cannot make their own food from simple inorganic material and depend upon other organisms for its food. There are three types of heterotrophic nutrition. They are saprophytic nutrition, the mode of nutrition in which organisms feed on dead and decaying plants, Example: bread molds, yeast, and mushroom. Holozoic nutrition. The mode of nutrition in which food is taken in as a whole and then broken down into simpler substances. Example: man, cats, and dogs. Parasitic nutrition. The mode of nutrition in which the organisms live on or inside the body of their host and derive their food from them without killing them. Example: ticks, leech, tapeworm, and cascata.
Unicellular organisms. Amoeba and paramecium are the two very simple unicellular organisms. In unicellular organisms, all the process of nutrition is performed by the single cell. Nutrition in amoeba. The mode of nutrition in amoeba is holozoic. Amoeba ingest food by forming temporary finger-like projections called pseudopodia. This pseudopodia fuse over the food particles, forming a food vacuole. Food is digested in the food vacuole by digesting enzymes. This enzyme breaks down the food into small and soluble molecules. The remaining undigested material is moved to the surface of the cell and it is adjusted out by rupturing of the cell membrane.
Nutrition in paramecium. The cell of a paramecium has a definite shape and the food is taken in at a specific spot. Food is moved to this spot by the movement of cilia which covers the entire surface of the cell. There are 5 steps in the process of nutrition in animals. First of all, ingestion. The process of taking food into the body is called ingestion. Digestion. The process in which the food containing large insoluble molecules is broken down into small water-soluble molecules is called digestion. Absorption. The process in which the digested food passes through the intestinal wall into the bloodstream is called absorption. Assimilation. The process in which the absorbed food is taken in by the body cells and used for energy, growth, and repair is called assimilation. Egestion. The process in which the undigested food is removed from the body is called egestion.
Nutrition in human being. The various organs of human digestive system are mouth, esophagus, stomach, small intestine and large intestine. The glands which are associated with the human digestive system are salivary gland, liver and pancreas. These organs are specialized to perform different functions. We shall discuss this process here. At first, ingestion. In human beings, food is ingested through the mouth. Next is digestion. The digestion of food begins in the mouth itself. The teeth cuts the food into small particles. The salivary gland in our mouth produces saliva which contains an enzyme called salivary amylase. This salivary amylase digests the starch into simple sugar. Our tongue helps in mixing this saliva with the food.
Esophagus. The slightly digested food in the mouth is swallowed by the tongue and goes down the food pipe called esophagus. When the slightly digested food enters the food pipe, the walls of the food pipe start contracting rhythmically in order to push the food to the stomach. These movements are called peristaltic movements. Stomach. The stomach is a J-shaped organ present on the left side of the abdomen. The digestion of food in the stomach is taken care by the gastric glands present in the walls of the stomach. This gland releases hydrochloric acid, mucus, and the enzyme pepsin. The hydrochloric creates an acidic medium which facilitates the action of the enzyme pepsin. The mucus helps to protect the stomach wall from its own secretions of hydrochloric acid. Enzyme pepsin is a protein digesting enzyme which breaks down protein into amino acids. The partially digested food then goes from the stomach into the small intestine through the sphincter muscle which sends the food in small amounts.
Now, let's talk about the small intestine. From the stomach, the partially digested food enters the small intestine. The small intestine is the largest spot, about 6.5 meters of the alimentary canal. The small intestine is very narrow and arranged in the form of a coil in our belly. It is the place where complete digestion of food takes place. Now let's discuss about the size of small intestine in different animals. The small intestine is longer in herbivores because they consume plant and grass based food which is full of cellulose, and the digestion of cellulose takes a long time. Therefore, herbivores need a longer small intestine to allow cellulose to be digested as taken from green plants. Carnivorous animals have a shorter small intestine because meat is easier to digest.
We saw already that small intestine in human beings is a site of complete digestion of food. How does this happen? Well, the answer is quite simple. The small intestine receives the secretion of two glands, liver and pancreas. Liver secretes bile juice, which is a greenish yellow liquid made in the liver and stored in gallbladder. Bile juice performs two functions. It makes the acidic food coming from the stomach alkaline so that the pancreatic enzymes can act on it. Next is the emulsification of fats. Bile salts breaks the fats present in the food into small globules, making it easy for the enzymes to act and digest them.
The pancreas secretes pancreatic juice, which contains enzymes like trypsin, which breaks proteins into amino acids, lipase, for breaking down emulsified fats into fatty acids and glycerol. The walls of the small intestine contain glands which secrete intestinal juice. The enzyme present in it finally converts the protein into amino acids, complex carbohydrates to glucose, fats into fatty acids, and glycerol. Absorption. The small intestine is the main region for the absorption of digested food. Villi. The inner surface of the small intestine has numerous finger-like projections called villi, which has numerous blood vessels and increased surface area for rapid absorption of digested food. The digested food, which is absorbed through the walls of the small intestine, goes into our blood.
Assimilation. The blood carries digested and dissolved food to all the plants of the body, where it becomes assimilated as a part of the cells and is used for obtaining energy, building up new tissues, and the repair of old tissues. Adjacent. The unabsorbed food is sent to the large intestine, where the excess water is absorbed. The undigested food material is removed from the body via the anus. The exit of this waste material is regulated by the anal sphincter muscles.
So that's it, guys. You all would have got a clear idea on nutrition. Now it's time to test your skills. It's the question time. First question. How do guard cells regulate opening and closing of stomatal pore? Second question. Compare the length of the small intestine in carnivorous and herbivorous animals. Third question. What will happen if mucus is not secreted by the gastric glands? Okay guys, thanks for watching. Hope you all would have understood about the first life process, that is nutrition. Please stay tuned for the next video on respiration. We also request you all to share it to all your friends and watch till the end, cause your support is our energy to do the next video. Stay home, stay safe, and happy learning.